been doing a lot of design reviews. So all the permits are in. So we're just waiting for feedback and red lines from the city, Phoenix. And we've already started on demising walls and some air conditioning stuff. So any day we'll be starting to roll over with our crews and starting to build out the offices. And then also in the warehouse, try to get some of the electrical and dust collection and all the air lines put up.
What are the current challenges that you're facing to make sure you're out of here in 4 months? Because you guys haven't like actually started, have you?
No. So the four walls are up, but the actual tenant improvement stuff is not even started yet. So we've got some layouts done. Like I said, the plans are in for review at the city. I think again, the biggest concerns you always have is just make sure that the materials are here on time, the equipment's here on time, and just manpower, finding the right people, the right contractors. We're fortunate enough that we have our own inside guys that will help me build this thing out. So we're not hiring a whole bunch of subcontractors to do this, which is great. So that's going to help alleviate some of the stress with scheduling, people not showing up, because again, in this business, that's the craziest thing.
I mean, the clutch is that you already have the experience with the whole construction aspect and private management and all that. And I hear Hamburg's are going to be assisting you with that.
Sure.
But this whole transition, right? Moving from, what is this, a 10,000?
So we're about 18,000 total here. That includes the office space, so about 14,000 in the shop.
Okay.
We're going to an 81,000 square foot facility.
What challenges are you facing moving from an 18,000 to an 81,000? Because you've moved plenty of times. What are some current new challenges that you're facing you didn't?
Well, the positives right now, it's just 2 doors down. So it's just right down the street, which is great. The negatives and the challenges are always just connecting everything here, bringing the rigging service to come in and move the heavy equipment that we have already on site today. Now, we are fortunate enough that we do have a lot of new equipment coming in as well. So we're going to kind of work this 2-phase. So I think what we'll do first is we'll bring in the new equipment. We'll get all that new equipment hooked up, and then we'll shut down here. So we'll kind of be up and running there before we move the necessary pieces that we have here. We have doubles of everything. So everything we have in our current location now, we'll have already over there ready for us when we shut this down. So our production won't really stop, because right now we really can't afford to, just because of our clients that we deal with and our schedules. Obviously, you never want to lose the financial portion of it when you shut down for a month. So we're going to try to make this move without shutting down. So just because, again, in the cabinet world, people need cabinets and they need cabinets at a certain time.
Your delivery times, you guys always try to be unmatchable.
Yeah, so at 30 to 45 days. So, you leave here and you move for 30 days. There's no way that we're going to get our production back ramped up in time for our cabinets.
That's why I was asking you, maybe there was this overlap gap of maybe having both, but you're saying that you have to be out. So you guys are running against the clock as well.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that, right? What a blessing that it's only like 2 blocks down.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, transportation and all that could have been a whole nightmare as well.
It could be. Plus, when you do make a move like this, your current team members that you have working here now are so used to coming this direction. So, we're fortunate enough that we are only 2 doors down, or 2 blocks down. So it's just an easy move for everybody coming in to work. And also our rigging company, you come, unhook, drop it, come back, grab more, drop it. So that'll take place over the weekend. So it'll start on a Friday. From Friday through Sunday, we'll be moving all the equipment over to the new location.
Someone that is looking to expand to a bigger warehouse, what are some red flags they should be aware when they're doing such a massive move?
Well, growth is always tough. So when you're trying to scale something like we've done here in this short amount of time, 1.5 years, we're scaling from 10,000, 18,000, now to 81,000. All's kind of happened in the last 1.5 to 2 years. Again, I think people forget that Dream Home's only been open for like about 2 years. So us going from a 10,000 square foot facility and in 6 months moving to the facility we're in today, and now 1+ year later, we're moving into a bigger facility, speaks volume on the team we have here.
How do you feel when you hear that a lot of businesses actually end up failing because of exponential growth and not knowing how to handle?
Again, it always stems from the SOPs. You're only good as who you have working with you. Your team members, the culture we built is so important. So, we have ramped up so amazingly fast that we are over hiring and we're hiring the necessary people today. So we're investing in our team today to help with this whole all move. So think about it, so we're going from an 18,000 square feet to an 81,000 square feet. So it's 5+ times bigger than what we have here, which means 5 times more expense. Okay. So you have to kind of watch it. So to your point about, when people are trying to grow too fast, scaling is so important, because to grow any business, you got to scale. And that scale is difficult at times. It always comes back down to the people you have in place, so the team. Yep. Without that team and that culture that we built here, we wouldn't be the same. It would be very challenging.
I'm so glad to hear that, because one of the things that I take pride on is learning from you guys, right? The high level entrepreneurs.
Appreciate it.
I started as freelancer, and now we're blessed that we're running a multi 6-figure creative agency. The growth has been there, but to circle back to what you said, is the people that you surround yourself with and the team that you build, it's crucial in order to go to the next level.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, such yourself higher than me, because, again, I'm just a blue collar guy out here trying to make, but I love it.
I'm the same way. So I appreciate all of that. My first job here in the US, on the weekends, I used to vacuum cars in a car wash.
Love it.
And so, like, the roofers, the construction workers, like, all of that, trust me, man, like, I highly respect that.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great too, because I said, we've run a lot of businesses in my past, and some good, some bad. You got some ups and downs in every business you run, and and the cabinet world's it's a tough go ahead. It's a tough business because it's a very emotional business for clients that come to us. They're coming to us. A lot of them are moved out of their houses because they're remodeling and they need their cabinets, and others are building new houses and they need their cabinets. And so we hold up a lot of people in their schedules, because are cabinet people, not dream home, but because you're producing a ton of cabinets, you got to finish everything, and you have to go through design, have to go through engineering, have to get out, start through production. Then when it's in production, then it's got to be painted, stained, cleared. Then it's got to be QC'd or put together, then QC. Then you know the difficulties, right?
In it back there, man, and what you guys got, it's beautiful, man. You got some troopers back there. I love talking to the guys whenever I'm back there.
Let me just finish up by saying this too. I think you've done a great job with what, building your business, and honest to God truth, we kind of hit it off first day we kind of met, the love what we're trying to build together.
I love that.
We're going to be great, be great partners here, trade partners working through this. And I think this growth is great for both of us. And, and I could tell people today that, it struggles, because there's some times when I go home and I'm like, okay, I felt today I was definitely the bug, not the windshield, right? And I get home and I just, I look at, thank the Lord, and I'm still, living today, and with all the stresses that we've been through, we've got such a great team here. We've developed such a good culture. Again, I'm very passionate about what I do, right? And so if I didn't love cabinets, I wouldn't be doing them. It's going to be anything that I get involved in, I want to be passionate about it, and I want to surround myself with the right people,
Yeah.
Hey, we've all made bad and terrible decisions in our life, right? We've all gone down different roads, and I always say, man, it's hang around with the right people, good things happen, yeah.
Learn for your golden nugget, right?
100%. And I say you become who you hang out with, right? And I strive on trying to be around the right people, and again, we work so much, so it's hard to have a lot of friends. We have a lot of friends, but when I say that, it's like when you're running hard every day, there's times where I leave here, I get here at 6 in the morning, I leave by 6 at night. I can't do anything. I gotta go to the gym at all.
The best, sometimes realistically, is the best friends are the ones that you see the least, because everybody's doing their thing.
Because they're working just like you. You want to surround yourself with the people that are doing that you can look up to. And that's the thing, man. It's like, you know what? I want my kids to look at me and say, Dad, I want to be like that.
There's eras, man. There's eras to it. And for example, I see sometimes people get stuck on eras and they don't want to come out. I have to be honest. In my early 20s, I was all about partying. And then I decided to start building. I went to college, decided to get my degree and everything. Even corporate America consumed me. It wasn't my thing. And then I was always passionate about pursuing this entrepreneur thing. If you are still with a circle that is always hitting you up every weekend to go to the club, and like, what's the end of that?
Yeah, so face it. So think about that, man. It's like, you know what? So many people want that. They want the riches today, and they won't sacrifice and do what they need to do to get there, right? So you don't want to surround yourself with people that don't really give a shit, right, about you or anybody else, and they're out for themselves. And you know what? At the end of the day, they're chasing that money. And here's the thing, man. And I've learned, and I got to be honest, Andy Elliott has really mentally helped me understand that, that mindset's so important. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, without that mindset, I would never be back in the physical condition that I am today after those two massive heart attacks. I would not be where I'm at today off, drug free off of every pill possible because of my heart condition. I'm completely, all natural now. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I work out hard every day. Obviously life isn't going to be stress free. It's never going to be stress free, but if you surround yourself with those right people, when I have a bad day, and my wife works with me every day. So that's the great thing. So you don't want to take it home and talk about work again, right? So it's sometimes difficult. So, I always phone a friend on my way home. Yeah. I phone a friend every time I'm driving home. One of my partners here, Greg, Cole, I'll give him a call, I'll give JJ a call. I'll give, certain people a call that I know that if I'm feeling like I just need a little bit of pick me up. Yeah. One word from them, I'm picked up.
Right. It's so great to like truly have those people around you, because it's necessary. Us as entrepreneurs, well, right before we even started rolling, I was like, okay, man, like, well, what's going on? It's like, man, so much, and I don't even know how I'm going to do it. And that's just like the everyday. That's just what comes with it. But something,
and follow, it's again, when you say that too, it's like, you talk about, a lot of people say, like, figure out where you want to go, set your sights on that, and you don't stop, you run hard until you get there.
What do you tell that person that is stuck on not knowing what to do? Define where you're going.
You got to define where you're going. And honestly, then think about that app, take it to the next step. And so then, today's world is pretty easy to find motivational guys. Get on Instagram, get on Facebook.
It could be a double-edged sword, though.
It is, because I'm not that guy.
People are now seeing the end result, and I wanted to bring it back to what you just said earlier. You said, like, all the struggles. I don't know how I'm going to do this, and sometimes I'm here 14, 16 hours a day, and realistically, that's being here physically, but it doesn't stop. It's 24/7. I go to sleep, I wake up. Like, that's what entrepreneurship.
I'm eating lunch, talking about work.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. So it's so funny. So like when you talk about it, so like when you talk about double-edged sword too, is when you look at Instagram, you look at Instagram, then you look at Facebook, and everybody sees these these stories about they're driving in these fancy cars, these big houses. And I've been talking with Lance Beckman and JT Fox, and these guys are serial entrepreneurs, and they're just awesome at what they do. And then they've exited out of several businesses, and and I'm sitting there watching these guys and talking to them. I can be messaging or texting, and we're talking, and it's like I want to learn from these guys. I want to continue to learn from these guys, because you listen to their stories, and they'll tell you flat out, all that flashy stuff you see on the internet, on social media isn't all true. I was young and naive. Actually, I'm old and naive now, but to know that, hey, everybody's got a Lamborghini that's in business. So I'm looking, I'm like, there's no possible way. I work my ass off, every day, and I'm not buying things like that, right? So
I mean, you could, though.
You could,
but you're being responsible.
What I'm saying in my business and growing my
with all the expansion and growth. You just said it, right? You guys are going to a new facility that is going to 5x the expenses. So it's all because of the vision that you guys have and all the support that everybody is providing.
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah.
No, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun journey. Like I said, we'll be documenting the whole thing, and it's just exciting. And I think, what, when you have a culture, a staff that culture is, hey, we want to grow with this business, and we're jumping on. And I'm that guy, man. I literally, I'll look at you and say, come on, jump on my back. Let's go and get our dreams together. It's funny. I was approached one time, a long time ago, and I'll leave you with this, but, I had a friend of mine, and we sat there at lunch one day, and he looked me in the eyes, and he says, hey, he said, Bryan, who else do you have out there that's sitting across from you today, across this table to you, with their hand out, and they're saying, come on, bro, let's go get our dreams together. That's what I want to do, and that's who I want to be. And so that being said, I think me saying that today and growing this business to where we have today, and Becky and I are growing this, and not, our sake today, because all that'll come down the road. But man, we've got such a good team here that, I'm not going to say that people don't all stay here, but we have a lot of people that have been with us for a long time since we started, and are extremely happy and excited about the growth.
I know, I've seen them, I talk to them, and I come from the 9-to-5 hustle, and I've met people that are just very unhappy with what they do. And the guys out there, I could tell that they pour their heart out in terms of, making sure that they deliver the best product.
And that's what it's about. This is about a whole team effort here. This isn't being done. Sometimes you wonder if, and I say this sometimes, and I do, when you feel like the world is sitting on your shoulders, right? And you're like, man, I'm in that middle of that ocean by myself, and I'm doggy paddling trying to stay afloat. right? And I'm not talking financially, and some people it could be financial, but emotionally, for me, it's a bunch of every little things put together, trying to build the best possible team here, the culture, which takes a lot of hard work, and then putting the business on top of it. Because again, once we develop that culture, if we have those SOPs and the business is done right, and we're documented through the way, and we're gonna have those days where, oh my gosh, where like we think we got everything documented right. Oh, this SOP is gonna work, and then we find out, oh shoot, it didn't work, and now we're like 12 steps back. You evaluate the whole thing as we do, and everybody's like, I already wrote that program, and I'm like, we're acting out right there. Yeah, you're right, exactly. But you know what? Like we talk about like a lot, insanity, man. If it's not working, you change it, right? Yes. If you believe it's still gonna be always hunky dory and everything's always gonna work, then you're nuts. Yeah. So and that's what we're fine tuning our systems every day, trying to get better every day, and it sometimes feels like you're going backwards. But you know what? Again, it's okay if you take a step back. It's okay. My pastor said once time, he said, Bryan, be still. He said, stop and be still. Whatever it's been, the ups and downs, and that's what it's peaks and valleys of life in general. About my son passing and me dealing with that, emotionally, and my ex-wife dealing with it emotionally, and my kids, and my family members. And everybody goes through shit in life, right? I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. I mean, and some is more devastating than others, and everybody's story is a story. Yeah. And I don't care whose story you read. I don't care who you're listening to. Everybody's story means something to them. Not that my story is any different than that, but if I can help one person, and that's my ultimate goal. Let's just face it, my ultimate goal and plan in life would be to build this business and get it to where it needs to be. And then if I can help one person,
I love that.
So
I'm excited. This is the first time I hear you speak about your son's situation. I was not aware. So it's going to be a journey. I'm very excited, and thank you for letting me be part of the one documenting this whole thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, it's been great, and I think honestly we're going to continue this success together. Everybody here, and then anybody else that's a part of my team and my trade partners out there that are helping me grow this business. And again, I cannot do this without their help, meaning from my material suppliers to my my staff here, to my banks, and to my friends that I have out there to support me, and watch this journey, and I'll leave you again. I know I said this once, but I'll leave you on this, that this journey is going to be pretty amazing for all of us to watch, and I think that we'll really see who we really are here in the next 4 to 6 months. I'm moving from here to there, and just how we grow as people and as a team. So it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. And I think all in all, I think I'm going to surround myself with some even better people, which is awesome. So, and I'll keep doing it, and people are going to find us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's actually what makes me very happy. The fact that we've had people walk in and tell you, oh, we've been seeing what you guys are doing on the social medias. And
you don't need with social media, dude. If I could just get into it and do it, and you've been pushing me to try to do that, but man, it's like,
shout out Becky. She's the one.
She's kind of helping with that.
Navigating.
Yeah. So it's really hard for me sometimes. I'm super focused on what I'm doing here. So it's hard to tell those stories and sit in front of
me. But these moments are amazing. Yeah. So we take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Man,
totally.
I'm going to give you your time back, man.
By film. All right. Talk soon.